Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So before we start, I would request you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You will find tons of amazing hands-on videos on DevOps and Cloud DevOps. Now, talking about today's video. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about day-to-day activities of a DevOps engineer. And team, I'm going to share my own tasks that I do with respect to different projects on regular basis. And trust me team, at this point, I'm managing more than 30 projects. So I'm going to explain with respect to those as well as with respect to my previous company. What kind of task I used to do on regular basis, those things I'm going to explain. And these are going to be really useful if you are going for interview or preparing for interviews. Also team, for those who are looking for dedicated training sessions on DevSecOps and Cloud DevOps, you can check out batch 6 of Zero to Hero DevSecOps and Cloud DevOps. This course is starting from 30th of July, and if you enroll now, you are going to get an early bird discount. Talking about this course, so first of all, everything I'm going to teach from scratch to advance. Talking about the projects for this course, so we are going to have in total 15 projects, out of which 10 projects we are going to do hands-on implementation. Those 10 projects are going to be in different programming languages. Some are going to be multi-tier, some are going to be full stack e-commerce websites, and so on. So different kind of applications we'll be having a very good experience working with. Talking about the rest 5 projects, so they are going to be corporate level projects, which I'm going to explain the architecture, design and pipelines, so that you have a very good idea if you're going for interviews, like what kind of projects exist in companies and how do we work with them. Another best part about this course is that I'm going to help everyone who is enrolled in this course one-to-one to prepare your resume. I'll explain to you what kind of tasks should be added, what kind of projects is good to explain, and I'm going to help you understand the explanation of different projects as well. So this will help you eventually to get a very good job in DevOps domain. So if you're interested, you can enroll to it. All the details about this course will be in the description. So team, let us get started by the first task, which we are going to call as pod management. Okay, now in order to understand what exactly is pod management, let me give you the full context so that you can understand it very easily. Okay, let us say I have 100 projects or 100 applications deployed inside different namespaces inside Kubernetes cluster. Okay, on daily basis we are going to receive an automated email. Okay, inside that automatic email we have a table. Inside that table we have information mentioned about this, like out of 100 projects, whichever project is having issues. Okay, for example, let's say inside the table the information will be mentioned like project 1. Inside project 1 we have, let's say, pod 1 is having crash loop error, then pod 3 is having, let's say, 𝗚𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃. Okay, similar to that, whichever project is having issues, that information will be mentioned in that. Let's say project 4 is having some, project 4 pod is having some issues, so that will be mentioned in that table. Okay, so as soon as we receive that mail, or once in 2 days we receive this mail, immediately what we do, we start check out the list, and for each project we are going to go inside the namespace of that project, and then we are going to, based on this information, we are going to check. For example, let's say I want to fix this pod 1. So first of all I will run the command kubectl logs, then pod name, which is pod 1. Now after running this command we are going to get some log. So inside that log I can find lot of information about what exactly went wrong, why this pod is down, and based on that I need to decide what I need to do. For example, let us say I'm working with SonarQube application. So SonarQube application, I see that it is continuously in crash loop backup error. So when I checked the log, I found out that inside the SonarQube plugins folder, let's say we have Java folder, and we had two Java plugins. One was 1.1, one 1.2.jar, right? So if I see that there are two versions of one plugin, I need to immediately remove the older version, and then I need to restart, and this fixed the issue. Okay, so this is one of the examples for because of which crash loop backup error can come. Okay, so this was one of the tasks that I do on regular basis. Okay, like once we receive the email notification, I can check out which pod is having issues, and then I can try to fix it. Okay, now understand this, and now let us move to next task. So let us discuss about the next task. Okay, next task that I have is known as incident management. Okay, As I have told you before also, I was supporting multiple clients. So let's say I was supporting around 30 clients. Okay. So these 30 clients, whenever they faced an issue with respect to any specific DevOps tools, not their code, but the DevOps tools, in that case, what we can do, they can go to a platform known as ServiceNow. Okay. On this platform, they can raise a ticket. Now, ticket can be of two types. It can be incident or it can be support. Okay. Now let us understand when they are going to raise the ticket. So if some critical issue is there which needs to be resolved immediately, then they are going to raise incident ticket. Okay. If they need some kind of support or some some issues they are facing, but that is not critical, so they can raise support ticket. Okay. So as soon as incident ticket comes, me or any other DevOps engineer in my team is going to take that ticket in their own name. They are going to connect to the client over Teams, and they are going to discuss over the call what exactly is the issue. Okay. For example, let's say my client is trying to connect Jenkins to Nexus. Okay. But continuously Nexus is giving, or the pipeline is giving 500 internal server error. Okay. So if this error is coming immediately, I need, first of all, I need to make sure that this Nexus, I have access over it. Okay. So if let's say this Nexus is deployed on our platform or on our cluster, immediately I need to go to Kubernetes cluster where Nexus is deployed as a pod, and I need to check the pod logs or what is the status of the pod. Okay. Based on that, I can decide. Generally, when you see 500 internal server error, that means the server to which you are trying to connect, it is either down or it is either not at all running smoothly. In that case, one thing that you can do is try to restart, because for 500 generally it can be a network issue also. But one of the common resolution for this is you can try restart one time. If it does not fix the issue, then you can check the logs in detail and then you can try to fix it. Okay. Another example I wanted to give you for this error. So one time I was seeing this crash loop backoff error. So when I saw this crash loop backoff error for Nexus in backend pod, then I checked the logs. In logs, I found out that first of all, for Nexus to work well, minimum 4 GB of storage should always be available. If less than 4 GB is available, Nexus is not going to work well. Okay. So this I found out. Okay, Nexus is not having enough storage. It was having around something like 3.6. So for 3.6 GB of storage, Nexus cannot work well. So what we can do immediately, we can add some storage, or we can ask infra team to do so. Okay. Similar to this, we receive a lot of issues. Client is facing this kind of issue. They are not able to integrate this or that. So for that, they can raise a ticket and I can connect to client, me or my team member, and then we can fix the issues. Okay. So this was second task. And the thing is this is done on daily basis. When you are supporting too many clients, then obviously they are going to face a lot of issues, and every day we used to receive 5 to 6 tickets on, generally 3-4 tickets I would take and rest of the tickets my team would take, like that it used to work. Okay. So this task also used to happen on daily basis. So team, let us discuss about the next task, which is known as POC, this is short for proof of concept. Okay. Now, what exactly is POC? Okay. So let us assume that in a company, your project, you got to know that there is a tool known as Vault, which is kind of security tool. It is helpful for storing credentials or sensitive data. Okay. So let us say that it is quite useful tool, and we want to use it in our project. But directly we cannot add this tool or integrate it with our existing pipelines in production or any other specific environment. So your manager, what they are going to do, they are going to give you a POC. They're going to tell you that, okay, Aditya, you need to create a demo on this tool. You need to explore it. You need to implement it on locally or anywhere you want. You need to prepare a documentation about this, and you can give a demo to the architect, so that if everyone is satisfied that, okay, this tool is quite useful, then it can be added in prod environment or integrated in the prod pipeline. Okay. So this proof of concept is existing in every company because everyone wants to move ahead and want to upgrade with their different technologies. So they usually give the team members POC to like explore that new tool, create a demo on it, implement it, and so on. So this was also used to give a manager used to give me a real basis. The target is that key, okay, Aditya, within 15 days you need to complete it, or if it's a big POC, we need to take like 30 days to complete it. So it's like it was one of the tasks that I used to do on everyday basis. Okay, daily basis I used to do. Okay, so this another task is like POC, which you can mention in your resume also. For example, I'll give you some example. So one of the POC that was given to me with SonarQube. Okay, the POC was that I was supposed to find out and do implementation on creating new rules in SonarQube profiles. Okay, this was one of the POC I was given. Then another POC which I was given is like it was with respect to SonarQube. So I was given a jar file of a specific plugin, very interesting plugin it was, and my task was to that you need to manually install this custom plugin from backend inside SonarQube. You need to utilize this plugin and share us the result how this plugin is, and so on and so. So I like went into backend, I installed this jar file into SonarQube. I redeployed SonarQube so that SonarQube has that plugin existing inside the backend or like that, right? So once it was done, then I could utilize that plugin to check out its features and everything. And once it was done, then I created a detailed documentation on that plugin. And then later on, it was decided, okay, we can add this plugin to all other platforms also. Okay, all other SonarQube platforms also. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of like POC that you can add in your resume also, that you have done this kind of task or so. Okay, now let us discuss next task. So next task that I want to discuss about, it did not happen like on daily basis, but it's like once in a month it used to happen. So basically, as I mentioned, I was working at shared resource, and currently also I support a lot of clients. So like at least once in a month, at least one client will be coming, completely new client, which requires complete project setup. Okay. So this project setup, in order to do it properly, it takes time. So at least like 1 week it takes to properly do it. So what are the things that I do in project setup? So first of all, I'll set up a sample repo in their self-hosted like GitLab or GitHub. After that, I create sample pipelines. In sample pipelines, my task is to make sure that I'm able to integrate GitLab with like whatever pipeline we are using. I'm able to integrate SonarQube. I'm able to integrate Docker and so on. Okay. And thirdly, I need to guide the same to the client also, how you can utilize this tool and what is the purpose and everything. Okay. So in case of new clients, I can do this. And last but not the least, I need to set up pipelines. Okay. This is like the sample pipeline. This is sample pipelines, but this is the actual pipelines that is going to be used by clients for building and deploying their own application. Okay, this is quite complex thing, but yeah, in case of new project setup, we have to do this also. And this happens like at least once in a month. Not on, as I say, this was not on regular basis, but at least once in a month. Okay. Talking about next thing, so that we also have this option, monitoring. Now you might be asking, Aditya, what exactly you are monitoring? So we had our own platform where I can like build and deploy applications. Like we had our own Jenkins, we had our own GitLab, we had our own Grafana for monitoring, obviously, and we had like Nexus and so on. Different tools we are having. Okay, so using Grafana, what things I can monitor? So basically, using Grafana, I can check out when was the last pipeline run in Jenkins. In GitLab, I can check out when was the last commit done, right? In SonarQube, I can check out when was the last project created, right? So these kinds of information I can get out, and I can use Grafana to monitor these kind of things. So yeah, like basically I needed to give a report on the regular basis. So every day I need to take out this report based on. So for this, what we need to do, we need to use prompt query. prompt query, or I'm not sure what exactly is the name, PQL or something like that. So we have to run specific queries. Once you run the query, then you can get the results. Okay, so this is also something that I used to do it on regular basis, monitoring of different applications. Okay, let us talk about next one. So next one we have repo management. Okay, now you might be thinking, okay, what exactly as a DevOps engineer is repo management for me? So first of all, again, if it's new client, I need to set up whole thing. I need to create multiple branches. I need to explain to them what kind of branching strategy needs to be used. Okay, that I can do. In case of existing projects, so there are many projects where basically I am added as a reviewer for their pull request. Okay, for example, let's say they have this dev branch, they have this QA branch. Okay, so developers, they can easily push changes to dev branch. Okay, developers has pushed changes to dev branch. If they want to push the changes to QA, or they wanted to push the changes to prod, let's say, in that case they have to raise PR or pull request. Okay, and as a approver, I need to check out if changes are correct or not. If changes are correct, then I can approve it, and then it can be pushed. Okay, so this is one of the things that I used to do. And also when it comes to repo management, so like if any new team member is coming, I need to decide what kind of access I want to give to that person. Okay, so yeah, all these sorts of tasks were also included. And it's PR, at least PR is something that used to happen on regular basis. Developers are going to raise a lot of like PRs. They are going to ask me, check it out, verify if everything is correct. If it's so, then you can merge it. Okay, so through this, repo management was also happening on regular basis. Okay, so let us talk about next task. So since I was working as a shared resource, I have worked as a shared resource, currently also working as a shared resource. That means I am supporting multiple projects. So as I currently work in Azure, right? So in Azure, basically, let's say I'm maintaining around 30 projects, and out of 30, each one is having 5 environments. So in total, I am having around 150 pipelines. Okay. So obviously, like out of 30 projects, not everyone is going to do prod deployment every day, but dev deployment or QA deployment, that happens on a regular basis. That means I receive around 7 to 8 deployments on regular basis every day. Okay. Now these 7 to 8 deployments I need to perform every day. Talking about what kind of deployments I'm having. So some projects are there which are going to deploy files to like Databricks, files or notebooks, you can say. Some are going to deploy to data factory. Some are going to deploy to analysis analysis services. Actually, this is a service in Azure which is known as analysis services or something like that. Okay. Some are going to be deployed to AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. Some are going to be like, some are very basic applications which are going to be deployed to web apps. So on regular basis, I have to deploy these kind of things to different resources to this inside Azure. Okay, some projects where I have to deploy Databricks, data factories. Somewhere I have analysis services. Somewhere I have to deploy full stack applications to AKS. Somewhere I have to deploy to basic applications to web apps. So this also is something that I have to do on regular basis over Azure cloud. Okay, so this also, if you have experience in Azure cloud, you can mention this kind of task also. Okay, now let's move on to next one. So let us talk about like next setup, next task. Okay, which is going to be infra. Now infra related task is also not something that I do on daily basis, but at least like some modifications I have to do over like at least once in a week. Okay, for example, let's say everything is set up. Okay, so in infra, two tools that we are going to use on regular basis is Terraform and Ansible. Okay, so let's say client says that I have a requirement that I want 10 VMs, and each VM will be having SonarQube pre-installed, right? So what I can do, I can, if I already having a script, it's fine. If not, I have to set up a Terraform script which provisions 10 VM. Then using Ansible, what I can do, I can install SonarQube on them, right? Similar to this, I have different tasks. Like some clients will be wanting that I need to have just 5 VMs, but those VMs should be having Docker pre-installed or like that. Okay, So this is one of the common tasks that I have to do, or also for internal mode like infra. So like internally also we have like whole thing set up like EKS cluster or something. So there, if some new projects is coming, I need to like increase worker nodes or so. I can modify our Terraform script and do the deployment to like update our cluster or so. So based on that also, that is completely dependent on the requirement. If requirement is that okay, I need to create another cluster, maybe I need to create multiple VMs. So based on requirements, I can like use Terraform and Ansible together to set up create those resources and then modify them. Okay, so this is what I did with respect to infra. Next task team that I wanted to discuss about, which is like which also happens on regular basis. First of all, let me explain about DSTM. DSTM is short for daily stand-up meeting. Okay, so basically, if you are having 10-15 members in a team and there is like one or two managers, so every day there will be short meeting happening, 15 to 20 minutes, where each team member has to update their task, what they have done. This helps others to stay on the track, like who is doing what, and managers also are aware ki, okay, some might like the people who are working under me, so what exactly they are doing. Okay, so it's like this is short for daily stand-up meeting that happens every day in companies or in any project. Okay, so yeah, this is also something that you can mention. It is like here you just need to update other people about your task. Okay, talking about next thing that we have is like very general thing, documentation. So basically, when whatever some task is going on, or whatever some, let's say, some meeting is going on. Okay, for example, there are some meetings that happen like bi-weekly. Okay, in these meetings there are a lot of things decided, like which tool we need to start using, or which tool we need to add in our project, or something like that with respect to project. So whatever things happen with respect to this project, so we have to document those meetings. Okay, we have to document those meetings. By that, what I mean to say, we have to clearly mention what was discussed, and what needs to be done. Okay, so this is kind of documentation. For documentation, we have separate tool which is known as Confluence. Confluence is a tool which can be used for documenting things whatever you want. And yeah, this also are like two general tasks that happen on regular basis. Okay,